Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Here we go. Now we've got some alpha drop today. Hope you guys enjoy it. It's going to be around the macro picture for the economy, and Bitcoin and crypto will follow suit, of course. So we're going to be dropping some new intel. We're going to have to make some adjustments to our worldview, and that's fine. That's fine and dandy. We got Property View in the house there. Awesome show. I appreciate that, Property View. Thank you very much. And if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to get in the chat there as well and say hello. Say hello. That's all we can say. Now let's I've just got to pick up the show on X and we're going to repost it out. You can help out. Let's see here. Let's get the copy of the show and push this out. Just take a moment to share. So share show on X. Bam. There we go. And put a few arrows in there. All right. We've had lots happening over the last couple of days, haven't we? So we're going to get into all that details. We'll probably, I'm not going to front run any commentary, but Bitcoin is rising over $106,000 as we speak. Things are on the move, and I think things are only going to look incredible in the second half of this year, barring any geopolitical craziness. Right, so obviously Trump is fixing up a lot of things, and there's still few wild cards out there. Wookie's in the house there. Really, what the fridge did he say? Says Wookie. You're talking about President Trump with the reporters at the White House lawns. Yeah, he was letting people know without letting people know, or something like that. So pretty awesome. All right, so hopefully we're going to have a great show and get into it all. Just quite quickly look through what I've been putting out lately. If you guys haven't checked out the Monster thread, definitely check out that. All last week's greatest news items around PulseChain. You don't want to miss any of that sort of stuff. But yeah, Bitcoin is climbing as we're speaking right now. So we're going to get into that, shall we, straight away? Let's do it. Now, the first thing I want to do is go to the old X account and talk about the account. So if you are new to the channel, don't forget to follow all the socials. It helps with the algorithms. We get more coverage of crypto and PulseChain in particular out there. And of course, I also cover TitanX, X1 Chain, and a few other things out there as well. So definitely, smash the follow button. If you want to join up Telegram, the links are in the video description to all that. It's all free. If you want to join up to Discord, we've got our strategy club. That's $35 a month. Really great value. Some people are out there charging thousands of dollars, but you're getting all the alpha here. So definitely join up to that. If you want to become a community member, that's about, I think, $12.50 a month. So pretty awesome. And that's included in the strategy club membership, which is $35. So join up to that. What else did we say? We've got more stuff coming from the Crypto Night Show team. So obviously we've got the Monster thread out there, and it's hitting over it's hitting over 20,000 views a week now and climbing. So that is really exciting. We've got another publication coming out soon, and we've got a new something else coming out as well. I was going to almost say it. It's not right. So that's coming too. So lots of more happening from our side of things. As we're gearing up, because I think the second half of this year is going to be looking absolutely fantastic. We're going to be dropping all the alpha bomb today. So I hope you guys enjoy the update that we're going to have. So kind of cool. Let's have a look here. We've got a couple of people in the chat. We've got Brian. Good to see Brian, one of our moderators. Big shout out to Brian. We've got obviously Wookie in the house, but another one of our community leader, actually, Wookie in the house there with BTC to the moon. Was that the rockets? Is that the rockets? Is that the mother of all bomb rockets? I don't know. We got Q Baller in the house there. Morning all. Good to see a Q Baller. Have to get used to saying that, as Craig knows. Hit the likes, folks. Definitely smash the likes on the way in. We got Sandy Beach in the house as well. Hello, everybody. Woo! Good to see you, Sandy. Big shout out to you. Always a pleasure to see Sandy in the house there. Sandy says, I don't think I can chat in the Telegram room. Really? I'm not sure what's going on there. You've certainly, it's open access. Let me know. You can DM me, Sandy, see whether I can help you out there on Telegram. And good to see you, Brian. How are you? Yeah, how are you, Brian? Brian is in the US of A. He's been making a few changes lately. So a big shout out to Brian. All right, so don't forget to smash the follows, hit the subscribes, share the channel around, all that good stuff. Let's get into the stock market, shall we? And check out how everything went for Tuesday in the US. So we've got, at the moment, the Dow Jones was up 1.2%, 507 points. So a pretty good day for the Dow Jones. Remember, Dow Jones got the top 30 industrials in it. The S&P 500 pretty flat, ended up flat, 6,093 points. The NASDAQ was up a very nice amount, 1.43%, 281 points to 19,900, almost back at 20,000. And remember that mark, because I think we're really looking for some good things moving ahead. US dollar, look at the US dollar, down at 97.5. Woo! Depreciated US dollar. Remember when Trump came in on the 20th of January earlier this year, that was around 108. 108 is now 97.5. So that means that US dollar has depreciated versus its trading partners. That also means that, even though the US is a big consumer, prices, generally speaking, would be more expensive. But that being said, there's always price competition out there. And secondly, that means that US exports are more competitive, right? So US should be exporting more as well. So there we go. Let's go to the commodities. We got West Texas, obviously dived after the Trump success. And of course, that does obviously had a little bit of faltering there between questions around the peace holding. But last time I checked, it was doing kind of okay. And Trump, of course, getting pretty angry about that in front of reporters. And we don't have to repeat it on the channel, but just telling these guys, cool down, and make the peace secure. So we got West Texas there up 1.1% at the moment, 71 cents, $65. Brent oil is just up slightly to $66.90. And just to give you an idea of the week ahead, we were up at around $75, $76, and we have plummeted all the way down to 65. So $10 of a decrease there. Pretty awesome. And it's at the low right now. Fantastic. Now, there is big news coming in July, as I understand it, for the United States. I think there's some big news around oil and the petrol prices. So I think there's possibly going to be some new big supply in the United States. And of course, Trump today saying, drill, baby, drill, baby, drill, and getting all that oil out of the ground and pumping. So I think the US driving season is going to be very, very good indeed in the summer. So very, very cool, peak summer. We got gold at the moment is just up slightly, $5 to $3,339, and silver is up 15 cents to $35.88. And we are expecting to see those commodity prices run away during the time ahead. That's kind of where we are with the markets. So yeah, S&P 500 ends higher on the Israel-Iran ceasefire, and which managed to hold. Now, we also got, obviously, investors have been boosted by US President Donald Trump's declaring earlier Tuesday that the ceasefire was in place. Oil prices plunged $10, so the risk premium disappeared. Pretty cool. And Trump was rebuking Israel for its military response. There obviously was a little bit of late missiles going, and Trump, Israel wanted to respond to that. A couple of people died. 4 people died in one of the buildings. Unfortunately, the building really got smashed. So with thoughts and prayers out there. I didn't like the fact that Israel unloaded right after we made the deal. They went and did a huge bombing raid, and they didn't have to unload it. And I didn't like the fact that retaliation was very strong. Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, said he had ordered the military to mount new strikes on targets in Tehran. In response, what he said were Iranian missiles fired in a blatant violation of the ceasefire. Now, I was watching that in the Discord with a couple other people, some of the skies there, and there were definitely some the missiles kept coming from Iran for some time, and I think there were 4 main waves. So I'm not sure whether that's what they were talking about in particular. Iran denied launching any missile and said Israel's attacks had continued for an hour and a half beyond the time that the ceasefire was meant to start. There was a bit of goading there, a little goading, I would say. And so anyway, that does seem to have settled down from what I can tell. Powell signals Fed rate are keeping options open. Now, obviously, when Biden that were in power for the elections, they were lowering the interest rates, right? 1 percentage point last year. And when Trump gets in, nothing, crickets, even though inflation's coming down. We're going to talk about that. So obviously the tariffs really haven't had too much of an impact as well overall. So, it's just the way it goes. Powell signals Fed keeps options open. And of course, Treasury yields have dropped Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said in testimony before semi-annual monetary policy report to Congress that many paths are possible. And of course, he really is playing games, right? Now, he's always talked about being data dependent, right? And the data's looking pretty friendly towards inflation. Signaling that a rate cut remain on the table. The remarks come in the wake of Fed's so-called hawkish pause on rate last week when the central bank's projections showed fewer rate cuts. And of course, that was causing a bit of drama. And of course, in the recent two days, Fed governors, both Trump appointees, have said rates could fall as soon as July, meaning given inflation had not risen in response to tariffs, while Trump has repeatedly called for steep rate cuts. Now, remember, this is so fundamentally important, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Powell, however, remained cautious on the economic outlook, saying the central bank needs more time to see if rising tariffs drive inflation higher. And increases in tariffs this year are likely to push up prices and weigh on economic activity. And that was his testimony there at the Financial Services Committee. The effects on inflation could be short-lived, reflecting a one-time shift in the price level. It is also possible that inflationary effects could instead be more persistent. For the time being, we are well positioned. Now, I think that's nonsense, that last part. And of course, we're going to see that when we get to the Bitcoin chart coming up soon. So let's jump over to the next part there. We've got a few people in the house. Let me just stump up there. We've got Hexford in the house there. Hey, gang, good to see Hexford. Big shout out to you. So that's pretty much the stock market at the moment. Let's have a look at the interest rate monitor and see where the interest rates are going. Because why is this important, right? So obviously it's important for the US economy, but it's also important for this, interest rate cuts could be the trigger, could be that trigger that gets altcoin season really moving. And it's also something that Richard Hart's often watched, right? So if you're into the magic carpet ride theory, with the PulseChain strategic ETH reserve and things like that, and then that could be potentially one of the triggers, right? So 5 weeks and 7 hours to go. And we see that actually we're at 17% of the market expecting a 25% rate cut. So we're going to keep monitoring that, see where that flips to majority. At the moment, 83% expecting no change at this stage. But, with some of the Fed presidents starting to talk about interest rate cuts, it could be pretty interesting. The pressure comes on, right? Who else has jumped in the chat there? So we've got Blair in the house. Hey, good to see you, Blair. Hi, all. Big shout out there, Blair. And looking good. Oh, let's jump over to crypto, and we're about to get into the alpha drop. The alpha drop's coming up, folks, and don't forget to share the channel around and get moving. As you guys know, we're doing daily shows. Bitcoin is rising as I'm talking. My mouth is, all the words I'm speaking are like little satoshis. It's going up and up and up and up. Here we go. My satoshis are getting more valuable as I speak, the more I speak. All right, enough stupidity. Let's get on. We got market cap at the moment, 3.38 trillion, down 1.3% overall. But remember, that's 17,513 coins on the CoinGecko index. So just take that into account. Bitcoin, however, is moving, and I'm going to refresh this just to make sure I got the latest. There we go. Sometimes it gets stuck with the APR, gets the calling. Refreshing. We've got Bitcoin at the moment, $106,190 is on the move, up 0.9%. Now, remember, I think about 4 or 5 hours ago, Trump has gone to NATO, right? That is what he's been doing, and of course, that's when he was on the white lawns, White House lawns. Getting pretty annoyed at the ceasefire turbulence, and of course, here we are. Moving forward, he's gone to NATO to get the right spending in place and deal with the Article 5, I think it was, and all that sort of stuff. So we've got Ethereum there at the moment, is up 1.7%, $2,449. We've got XRP at number 4, up 1.5%, $2.19. BNB up 0.4% at $643. And at number 6 is Solana, up 1% to $146. Number 7 is Tron, is up 0.1%, 27.3 cents. A Dogecoin there at number 9 is up 1% at 16.5 cents. And that is the top 10, including Lido at number 10 there, up 1.8%, of course, with Ethereum. Now, we've got obviously ADA sitting at number 11. Hyperliquid is at number 13, down 1.7%. And then we've got SuChain sitting at number 15 to give you some of the other ones there as well. So the best performer over the last 24 hours has been Ethereum from the looks of it. Ethereum has pretty much been the best. Ethereum and Lido. Lido is up 2%. So those are best performers the last 24 hours. And it looks like Bitcoin is on the move as we're speaking right now. Now, this is a reference price, right? It's an average price, but Actually, on Coinbase, the prices are already well above this mark of 106,200. It's actually at 106,400, so it's on the move. At the moment, we've got what's the best performer over the last week is XRP at 1.4%. Is the best performer in the last 7 days. Now, looking at the top 100, the best performer is Say, and that's been up here for quite a bit times. It's up 82% for the week, 23% today. Kaya there is up at 38.9% for the week. And then, of course, that's we've got Aptos there sitting at number 40, up 11% as well, 14% today. So most of the move on there. Stacks is up 11%. That's sitting at number 94 on the top 100. And then Sonic at 89 position is up 8.3%. Those are your top 5 at the moment. I see Allegran also moving up 7.5% for the week, sitting at number 68. So we've got some movers and shakers there coming in. In fact, a few of these haven't really been in the leaderboard so much, but, we've got Jupiter coming up, Injective. So we've got a few new ones moving in the mix there. So there's a little bit of a reordering going on in the top 100 based on this. Given what we've been watching over the last, days and weeks. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Now, top gainers at the moment, we've got TokenBot up 43%. We've got Soon up 28% and Centrifuge up 27%. Those are some of our top gainers. We're going to have a look at TokenBot quickly and see that's up 43% coming off the bottom. It's been around for, since November last year. And it looks like it was down $26, now at 43. So having a really nice jump there is TokenBot. And ticking away there. So Clank, what is Clanker? Clanker is an autonomous agent for deploying tokens. So there we go. Looks like some sort of deployer. And that is, what was the number that was sitting at actually? Number 755 in the top 1,000. So this is what these trending coins seem to be. Soon token is also on the move, trending, and that's at number 682 in the top 1,000. And you can see, that's been around since May this year, 24th of May, so it hasn't been around too long, and is moving off the bottom here. So it went all the way down to 18 cents. What would it start off at? Got up to 56 cents, went down to about 19 cents, and has rocketed back to 26, 27 cents. So that's been on the move there. At the moment is the old Soon token there. Now, Soon token is Soon stack is the most efficient roll-up stack, delivering high performance to every layer 1 powered by SVM. So there we go. That's Soon. And we're going to have a quick look at the last one as well. We've got Centrifuge at the moment, up 28%. And let's have a look at that. So Centrifuge, token model powers Centrifuge, providing a framework that allows the platform to operate without relying on a single point of failure. So there we go. That is Centrifuge. You can check all that out too. But that's sitting at number 410, and that is on the move at the moment. And it's been around since, a long time, since the last bull market, August 2021. And there we are. It's still very much on the low end at the moment. So those are the 3 trending. And that's the play. So let's have a look at the trending. So those are the top gainers, I should say, in the top 1,000. Trending, we've got Say trending there, Notcoin and Toncoin from Telegram, which has been trending, day after day, is probably not surprising there. All right, so that's going to lead us into Bitcoin. And this is when we're going to get to the alpha drop. So if you've just arrived, congratulations. If you've just arrived. What else? We got Diamond Hand in the house there. Woohoo! All right. So Brian says we've got all these people watching on YouTube, but you've got to smash the likes. Yeah. We're streaming to 4 channels, by the way. So that's the way it goes. But if you're on YouTube, Brian has dropped 5 gifts. Big shout out to Brian there. Woo! So if you're on YouTube, particularly on the Kryptonite Show channel, you will be getting a drop. So Brennan got one. Well done to you, Brennan. We got Gao as well. Got one. Congratulations to you. Randy Alasky, man. Congratulations to you. You winner. And, of course, a big shout out to Randy. We got Spirit in the house there. Woohoo! Got one too. And then M Rocky as well. Congratulations to all 5 of you getting some free memberships there from Brian. Big shout out to Brian, our community moderator. Woohoo! We're crushing it. All right. So big shout out there. All right. So let's get into the Alpha Bomb drop. Woo! Let's go. So this is all hot off the press. And here we go, folks. So we have changed things a little bit. Obviously, if we get new information, we have to update our worldview. Remember that. Get new information, update our worldview. Our direction is still the same, but we've got more accurate time frames now as well. So here we go. So this is the latest and greatest. Trump's 3-legged stool strategy. We've been covering this for months now, since Trump's been in power. 20th of January, earlier this year. And here we are ticking away towards the 4th of July. So what's important about the 4th of July? Trump wants the big tax bill in place by the 4th of July. And that looks like it's proceeding very well, by the way. And so that is ticking away there, the big tax bill. And it could presumably even be approved by this weekend. So that's very exciting. So we're talking about, the 27th, 28th, we could see that approved. So that is the big tax bill coming in. That is massive, right? So the big tax cuts, the extension of the 2016 tax cuts, no tax on tips and things like that. But that is opening up some pretty exciting stuff happening there that will, potentially could, dip a little bit in the federal revenue in the short term. But if, of course, it stimulates economic growth, which is the main play of this, right? It's also shrinking the public sector to some degree, and moving some of the economic energy into the private sector. And so the private sector, this whole part of what they're doing with Doge as well, shrinking the public sector, also reducing the deep state, right? And then also moving the US into the private sector. And that also generally increases freedom and prosperity that way, right? So we're getting some major moves happening here. So that's the big thing around the big tax bill. And that's also going to unleash potentially a lot of new capital into the US economy, right? So obviously Trump, went around the world doing lots of big things over the first 4 months, raising capital, getting well over 13 trillion was the last number we had. And of course, that's all going into advanced technology like AI, etc., and car manufacturing, etc., etc., etc. So it's a really big deal. It's going to unleash potentially even more capital into the United States. So expect some big things to happen here. So that is coming up on the 4th of July. So that was something we already knew. So there's no real change there. The only new information is that could be even approved by this weekend. So keep a lookout for that. But certainly by the 4th of July, we are looking to get that settled. So yeah, very exciting stuff happening there. That's only within the next 9 days. Now, we've talked about getting these trade deals. Obviously, there's going to be something like 175 countries getting trade deals. A lot of them will probably just get letters, right, just from the president saying this is the deal, pretty much. But with the bigger countries, the top 15, particularly, we're looking for the trade deals for those because those can influence the sentiment in the market. And of course, we are waiting. So we've had the UK deal already. We've had in principle deals and gone to write those up with China to some degree. And of course, now we've got all these other top tier countries like India, Pakistan, South Korea, Japan, countries like that, all in negotiations into deals. And some of those deals, I think, were pretty much done probably 3 weeks ago or so. And we were indicated that 3 deals were pretty much ready to go to the president's table. And so we are waiting for probably another of those top 12 countries in particular that have yet to come in. And so we're waiting for those to be done, obviously with Europe as well, getting deals done. And Trump's over there with NATO at the moment. So we're waiting for all that stuff to play out. And so we thought we may very well get that over the weeks that we've just had. We did not get those, except for the UK and the China in principle deal. And so we're still waiting for all those big countries there. Now that has shifted. That expectation has changed. We now have new news. And that new news is that we're expecting to get that after the 4th of July. So those deals are expected to come after the 4th of July. So that's a very big deal there. That's why we've got the second strategy, right? The trade deals. This is a reordering of the World Trade Order. We haven't seen anything like this since Reagan in the 80s, particularly since the Bretton Woods in the 1940s. So this is a big deal, right? And this is a complete reordering of the world. Now, the other part of this, of course, is the rise of China, and of course the control that China has over rare earths, that China has over a lot of the commodities going into the United States, and also a lot of control that China has potentially with Taiwan, with semiconductors and all the computing power, which all that stuff there controls the modern world, right? So that is a fundamental risk, and Trump is trying to reorder that too, and particularly bring a lot of that stuff into America, and particularly the semiconductor business, right? He's made big deals about bringing that in there as well. So a lot of big strategic things happening here. So that is, we're expecting the trade deals now to come in after the 4th of July. So that could be really good news. So we're going to get the big news of the big tax bills. That's strategy number 1 of this 3-legged stool strategy. Strategy number 2, we're expecting to get that after the 4th of July, start getting some trade deal announcements. Obviously, he had to get the Iran issue out of the way. And of course, he's just made a peace deal after decades with the Congo and Uganda, which is fantastic. It's a bloody war over there. He's also obviously trying to get made a deal with India and Pakistan to get that issue over and done with, and also make peace and also do trade deals with those countries. And of course, on the other hand, he's also making some progress with the Ukraine and Russia war. And I think Putin may very well, is at the point where he's ready to start making some deals. And so forth. So this is kind of where we are at the moment. So things have progressed quite well so far. And now he's over at NATO trying to deal with the issue over there, right? So that's kind of where we are settling. So we're expecting the big trade deal on the 4th of July, then getting some of these trade announcements, and Trump will get the best bang for his buck from that, right? So that's the play, and that will really help rally the markets up into the next level. And that's what we're looking forward to. That's the implication for stocks, for crypto, and of course for PulseChain and commodities as well. So that's looking very cool. We also see the interest rates coming up, right? So interest rates not part of Trump's strategy in particular, but these are fundamental. So as I said to you, the oil prices have just dumped down $10 down to $65 from 75. That risk premium around the Iran conflict has disappeared. And of course, lower oil prices end up going into the whole US economy. And of course, that not only does it lower inflation through lowering all the costs, but it makes the whole economy just boom, right? So this is what we're seeing. It's very exciting. And of course, retail can really feel that at the pump, particularly in the summer season when a lot of driving happens in the United States. So very exciting there. The other big thing, so that affects up to 89% of the manufactured goods in the United States and elsewhere in the world as well. And of course, oil's an input into most modern commodities in some way or another. And of course, the other part of it, that's the physical economy that Trump is getting that inflation down. Brilliant stuff. It's common sense, but we've had to face progressive and liberal economists and policymakers that are, I'm just going to say it, you guys know I speak my words, they're idiots. These guys are so stupid, and all they can think about is power and control, and they really make everyone burn just so they can get it, right? So we've got the common sense thing, the right thing happening, which is awesome. The other side of things, of course, is the monetary side of the economy, right? And that is interest rates are the key input. So if oil is the key input for commodities, interest rates are the key inputs for the money supply, right? And how money moves around the economy. And at the moment, of course, the interest rates the federal funds rate is at 4.5%, still relatively high, right? It probably should be down at 2.5% or something like that. It is now at 4.5%. And of course, Trump's been, saying, come on, let's get this down. But politics seems to be being played, right? So the interest rates were lowered when Biden and Kamala were there. Coming for, Camilla was going for presidency. And then, of course, we've had nothing, crickets ever since, right? And then a very weak form case around tariffs. And here we are, even though inflation's been coming down, right? Because oil came down, right, really fast. So this is the problem that we're having. And of course, that has happened. And that is where we are. And a lot of stuff's being produced in the United States with the oil, right? So it's booming the US oil. Obviously, the US dollar is appreciated. And so that makes things a bit more expensive on that side. But of course, pumping out heaps of oil is very important. And apparently, there's some big news coming in July around the oil production in the United States. So keep a lookout for that. Getting interest rate cuts would be the last big economic input into the US economy. And of course, that's what Trump is putting a lot of pressure on. So fingers crossed, by the 30th of July, we get an interest rate cut. At the moment, it's sitting at about a 17% expectation from the market. But let's hope that actually happens. A lot of pressure there to reduce cuts. Now, what is the US inflation at the moment? Well, it's 2.4%. Right, so it's 2.4% at the moment on the inflation. And that's actually pretty good. They were expecting, it was 2.3 the month earlier, and they were expecting 2.5% for the previous month of May. And here we are, we're at 2.4%. And if you take core inflation, we're sitting at about 2.5% on the PCE inflation, right? There's two main inflation indicators, the PCE, which is quite a broad inflation measure, and of course the CPI, which is a much more narrow basket of goods, right? So here we are at 2.5%. Now the target is 2%. Right, so the target is 2%, and it's not much above that. So there's not really good reason for for that. To not cut rates from 4.5%. It's just kind of ridiculous. And so hopefully they'll head to the right direction as well. That would be very cool. So yeah, that is kind of where we are at the moment. And that is coming up on the 30th of July. So this is the run so far. We're going to have a big tax bill, hopefully by the 4th of July. And then the trade deals coming after that in July. And then, of course, the interest rate cuts by the end of July. So we've got this big lineup of things happening. And then, of course, once we get to the period here. Now, the other big thing we've got between the big tax bill on the 4th of July and the trade deals is on the 8th of July, we got the expiration of the 90-day tariff, the 10% that are on all the countries. And so this is a big deal there that's coming up on the 8th. So this is what I'm saying. We're probably going to get a lot of these trade deals in here, which is going to be really cool. This is all going to boom the market, right? So it's all hyper bullish for the big tax bill, hyper bullish for the trade deals. And then, of course, we've also got the interest rate cuts as well, potentially, if we get that by the end of July. That leads us into August, right? And August, we've still got the China tariff, which is 125%. That extension ends in mid-August. And so, we could have real boom time coming into there as well, although, a deal has been done in principle. And obviously, it just has to be actually implemented. China obviously mucks around with a lot of these things. And says, yeah, we'll make a deal, and then we don't do it, right? This is pretty much it. So Trump's got little tactics for that now. Says, if you don't do it, then we're going to play around with you as well. So it's good to see that. Whereas previously, liberal progressive economists and policymakers would just let China get away with it and even give them more, right? Which is just mind-bogglingly stupid, right? And so that's kind of the play at the moment into August. And then, of course, our third leg of Trump strategy, of these three-leg stall strategy, is deregulation and leverage. And that is currently just ongoing, right? That's going to be something that's happening all the time. And that is new regulations, particularly around crypto. We're getting some good stuff, digital strategy, deregulation, of course, getting rid of a lot of terrible regulations, especially stuff put under by the Democrats and Biden. And, of course, getting more leverage into the economy, particularly around small, medium banks. And, of course, helping support all the manufacturing and job making, particularly for white and blue collar workers in the United States, particularly the Midwest, which were abused by the Democrats, right, and so on. So this is kind of the play. Remember that United States lost 7 million jobs between 1975 and today. So, it's getting those jobs back. Now, some of those jobs are gone for good because, it's old tech and all that sort of stuff. And some places are better to produce those. But, of course, with, robotics, AI, computer power, and, all sorts of stuff, it's a really big deal. Now, a big part of this, of course, is that the greenies want to reduce energy, but Trump is increasing energy demand, right? Because all these AI chips and these AI factories like, Star Base or something with these AI places there, they need heaps of power to run these super AI centers. And of course, that requires a lot more power. So it's a power boom as well, right? So everything is a supply side boom happening. And of course, with the tax bill, it's also going to increase the demand ability, right, of people because they have more money in their pocket, right? That's the play. Now, those are some of the big things that are happening ahead. So that's all the big alpha drop today. So everything is lining up very, very nice. All we've had to do is shift a few of the components, particularly around the trade deals expectation. And then, of course, we are looking for some big things to happen. And we're probably going to, in this area here in July, we're probably going to get, I would say we're going to get most of the trade deals done because a lot of them will just be by letters, presidential letter, especially to a lot of small, medium countries in the world that don't really have much of a ability to influence anything. New Zealand, of course, I live in there. That we're one of those countries, although we've already kind of had our deal done, right? So that's kind of the play. What else there? We've got some people in the house. Let's see who else has jumped in here. Brian exposed me. Hi, all. Good to see you, Brennan. Big shout out to you. Congratulations on the membership. Who else has jumped in here? We got Hedgehog in the house. Is it Hedgehog? What's it? Wrong screen. I'm not sure what he's on. Let's have a look here. Let's jump through some of these. We've got a few more comments in the chat there. So that's the alpha drop to today. That is our new expectation for the next couple of months. And of course, that will lead us into boom time. That's all bullish stuff. So, the only thing that we've had holding us back really is geopolitical issues. Everything economic and policy front is looking super bullish. And that would lead us into the second half of the year being extremely, extremely good. And September, October probably looking particularly good on the back of that, and December as well for Christmas as well. We're going to be probably having a nice little run up here. And of course, there will be games to be played, right? So don't count out the Democrats and the globalists and some of the rogue nations. They will always be playing games. And so Trump's always going to have to contend with that, despite all the awesome stuff that he does, and really positioning countries in the reordering the world. So, some of the mega themes along here is that Trump's reordered, the Middle East regarding China. China was really making big inroads there. Trump is also dealing with a lot of those issues too, right? But there are many others out there around. Obviously, China and the Pacific has been a big deal. So there's still a lot of issues to be done. So that I don't want to, downplay those. But they're all being reordered. Pretty cool. All right, so let's just jump through a couple of these comments. Got Fat Sammy in the house there. Hi all, good to see you, Fat Sammy. Big shout out there. What else there? Fat Sammy says we're adding loads of EHEX USDC to EHEX, trying to fight BankX so we can remove him. Yeah, apparently he's been still selling. Well, he had 180 million. He must have. I think he was selling more yesterday, wasn't he? So yeah, he must be getting there slowly and surely. Still got a decent amount of HEX there, EHEX in particular. Once could free up HEX for that big run. Fat Sammy says trying to force him to sell low, suppressing EHEX prices. Fat Sammy. What else have we got in our chat there? Let's jump through some of those comments. Hey, good stuff there. Great stuff, boss, says Brian. Got to run. See you, folks. Hey, Brian, big shout out, and thanks for the super sticker shout out to everybody. Much appreciated there. All right. Fat Sam says, yes, we're draining him as much as possible, says Fat Sam. All right. That is pretty much the play. That is the alpha drop today. So that is our expectation moving forward into September. So that's August, September, July, August, September, run up there. And of course, that's going to push us into some big moves on Bitcoin, which we're expecting, 150 to 200K by the end of the year. That's kind of I think, a fear most commentators that are bullish in the bullish camp. Expecting somewhere like that. And of course, that's also our rainbow charts. Remember, we covered our rainbow charts a couple of days ago. And that's also sort of the period for the area for our rainbow charts as well. And then into the next year, we're talking 250 upwards, even to 400 possible. So bring it on. And of course, altcoin season will get triggered at some stage along there. Everything is looking good for it. And we're getting closer and closer to that on the charts. So yeah, July, it could just be incredible, guys. How big this could be. Now, obviously, we've had some pretty demure activity in altcoins so far, but it all turns around pretty flip on a flip of a dime. So if you are downhearted, just remember it all can flip on a dime, and things turn around very quickly. So don't get caught out by the psychology of the market. That is the big thing there, and keep accumulating some of the good quality stuff as you go. All right, so that's the play there. So we're going to jump out of there. Let's jump over to PulseChain, Pulse Gains. And here we are at the moment, 775 days. Not a lot happening on PulseChain, not really moving much compared to Bitcoin and the other markets. So we're still a little bit sleepy. We often do go a little bit later. So we'll see whether we can get a bit of a green day on over in the next 24 hours or so. We shall see. So yeah, we're sitting at day 775. That's since PulseChain launched on the 13th of May, 2023. And here we are at Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0239. And let me just refresh this browser just to make sure I've got the latest and greatest. Yeah, down 2.15% at quadruple 0239. And of course, we got resistance, remember, up at 42. And we broke down through, we broke down through 35, etc. And here we are at, we broke 25. We're down at 239. That's 4 zeros, 239. I'm just taking away the zeros there. And then we got PulseX at quadruple 02, holding on to that psychological level. Has been slightly below it, but holding on to quadruple 02 at the moment, down 3%, sitting at 20% of the main sacrifice price. So still pretty much in accumulation zone, right? Now, the burn amount, 1.43 trillion being burned, 7.26% of the public supply of PulseX has been bought up and burned. And the incentive token there, $1.38, is down 8%. Obviously, that moves up and down, generally stronger than the others. So if Pulse is down 2%, that's down 8%, so 6% difference. And we've got the HEX at the moment at just under half a penny, down 5.6% as well. EHEX at 1/1600th of a penny, and people talking about BankX selling. That is the EHEX price at the moment, so it's super cheap to pick it up at the moment. Just scoop up that stuff, scoop. And of course, this with the small liquidity could be the big play, right? Could be the big play there. Now, we do have potential protocols coming on top of this that will keep continuing to use PulseX and Pulse and Signum token Hex, right? So they're all, we've got new protocols. I think Better Bank's going to be, not only is it going to be using PDI, but it's going to be using some of the rich core coins as well as collateral. So any protocol that comes on top of PulseChain and uses these coins adds more use case for them, and it plays its part in making these a bit scarcer, right? So that is very, very important there at the moment. So yeah. Fat Sammy says we are scooping EX out. See EX like it's out of date. Yeah, very good, smart move there. All right, so let's jump over to the validators and check out the gas prices first. We've got 1 million beats, so 9/10 of a penny for a PulseX swap at the moment. So pretty cool to do business. We've got validators at the moment, 50,209, pretty similar to yesterday, only maybe up 7 validators or something like that. And then we got the bridge, which we've been tracking very, very closely. Obviously, with the onslaught that we had around the risk-off management over the last week with the Iran-Israel issue, we saw some of our big whales really smash on us, particularly number 3 on the sacrifice list, and we had a few others as well. So $83.3 million is where we are at the moment. So I think it's down about 150 from yesterday, if I remember rightly. Possibly. Yeah, we're sitting at 19.2 million DAI and 6,800 ETH. And I got a little snapshot from the 3rd of June. So that is 22 days ago. We're sitting at 21.9 million EDI. We're sitting at 19.2 now. So, we're down, 2.7 or something like that, a million on the EDI. We had 7,174 ETH 22 days ago. We now got 6,800 ETH. And of course, with the USDC, we're sitting on 16 million. We're now at 14.75 million. So we're down 1.25 million on USDC as well. So, DAI, USDC, ETH all been hit over the last, 3 weeks. Now on the positive, we've had Coast has gone up by 200,000 over that period of time. And USD Tether has actually gone up as well by about $250,000. So USD Tether and Coast providing some offset to those big three tokens, DAI, USDC, and ETH there. So we've got a lot of work to do, but things can turn around pretty quickly in a week or two with capital flowing back on. So we just need to start getting some green candles, and that will encourage capital to flow over to PulseChain, right? That's the basic idea of markets. So that is the play. All right, so let's have a quick look at what that looks like on our custom chart. So this is exclusive to the Crypto Night Show and PulseChain bridge flows. This is timestamps, so I want to be very clear. These are timestamps, and as well, you can find the data on this on Telegram. So this is sourced from the bridge data there, and you can see that the green candles are hourly inflows. So these are hourly inflows, and of course, so there's 24 hours to a day. So we've got many, many days here from the 9th to 23rd. And you can see the green inflows coming in. You can see some of the bigger candles. We've had days where we get 335K coming in. That was, maybe on the 11th of June or something like that. And then, we've had a couple other candles coming in here. You can see that 178, 196. Most recently, we had a couple 208,000. Probably yesterday we had 155. A couple of hours ago we had $115,000. So those are the stuff coming in, but the red stuff is the stuff going out, and you can see there's lots of those red candles, particularly over the last week where we had all the carnage. And of course we can see 400K out there, we can see 561K out there, this big candle here 416. So whales taking a lot of money back out over the bridge. PulseX of course getting sold down as well, even after the 500K pump on Ink token. PulseX getting sold. We also saw the Sun Mini Meal whale. Just one account helped roll that chart. And we also had delay in all the Sun Mini Meal updates, which have not happened yet. We're waiting for the website update and Rewards 2.0 program, all the wallets, the bridges, all that sort of stuff to come. That's still coming. We're waiting for that. And then we've had lots of look at all these hourlies here, particularly over the last 24. Look at this. And there's no real good reason for it except for relativity plays, right? So you go over trying to chase the main coins is probably what's happening here. And over the last sort of 12 to 14 hours, even last day, we've had a lot of red candles going out. Particularly the last couple of hours, we saw that happen as well. So that very well may just be a relativity play, chasing the majors down, right? The ones that are moving in the major coins like Ethereum and XRP and things like that. So who knows? That is what's happened the last little wee while, even though the Iran issue's really been dampened down. So that's kind of the play at the moment. And we did have one good hour, 115. Now, in any case, the yellow line is the accumulated net move. So the stuff that's coming in and the stuff going out, whatever's the difference between those two is in the yellow chart, and it's accumulated by every hour. And so it just accumulates. So the more that's going out, that's the way it is. So we're sitting at $3.14 million on the timestamp value has gone out over this period of time. And so that is where we are at the moment. So that is the chart. And so this could reverse. So we could have it reverse next week, right? So we'll keep a track of this and see how it goes in the week ahead now that the Iran issue's gone away. And we've got all this good news I just talked about coming up ahead of us this weekend and into July and into August. Yeah, we could see quite the reversal here. That's what we'll be looking forward to moving forward. All right, so kind of cool. That is the play. What else have we got? Fat Sam says, "Hey, Superman, given his opinion about if he thinks the cycle will extend in 26, yeah, 100%. Yeah, expecting extended there. Definitely first, second quarter, and of course, I'm actually pretty bullish about the whole Trump era. But of course, markets still go through cycles. So yeah, but definitely into 2026. Yeah, we're going into the golden age of America. That's going to be it's going to be something we've never going to see. I don't think we'll ever see that ever again. What we're happening over the next 4 years, I do not expect us to see that ever again. Depending on who's in power, but I really think what we're going to see is pretty special. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the play on that. Now, I think technology is obviously going to continue to ramp up, assuming the world's peaceful. But yeah, what Trump's about to do over the next couple of years is going to be mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. All right, so yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment on the old market. So let's jump over to what the value is at the moment. We're sitting at 19.5 million. As you guys know, we've been recently down at around 12 million, 11 million in volume, and here we are at 19.5. I think recently yesterday we were at about 16, 17. Today we're at 9.5, so we're definitely up. Our gainers at the moment, we've got 400,000 transactions. That's up also. It's up about another 20,000, I think, from yesterday. And looking at our default view, so we're on the default view here, but I've got it filtered for 24 hour. And this is the 6 hour trending, but I've got filtered for 24 hour. We're X at the moment up 40%. It's been around for 8 months, up at $35. We've got GoPulse there sitting at 13.3 cents. GoPulse having a bit of a rally. Obviously, its main site was down, but the backup site was working, and that's what we've been using. And I don't think the GoPulse one is back up. Let's quickly check that. GoPulse. Oh no, it's back up. So GoPulse is back up. They had a little bit issue with their with the service provider or something. I can't remember the details, but that is back up now. They're at 13 cents, up 34%. Let's have a quick look at that chart, shall we? They definitely dipped down. Yeah, look, so quite a bit of capital pumping into there. And they have gone up from 7.3 cents all the way up to 13 cents right now. So is getting pumped. You can decide who's pumping it, but that is getting pumped. We've got BFF at the moment, best friends forever, is it? for investor. So we've got the OG web chef, I think, is 31%. Steak Teeth, they're on PulseChain. That is up 31% as well. Teddy Bear from James Maria at 27%. Beast there from OG Web Chef up 23%, but still down at 37 cents. So Cord there, Knights of the Orion up 22%. I think that's pump tires, right? I think that is pump tires. Double check, but I think that is. And then PYX. Have all the pump tires moved into five months now? Maybe they have. And 21.6%. What else has we got going? A Troper. Obviously, James Maria moving up today, up 16%. Your mum, Elon Musk, your mum. And of course, so I think it's one of the ones that Moon Kings likes, doesn't it? Had a lot of burning going on. That is up 15%. Love.io from Anders. Anders out there. Big shout out. Up 15% there. We're looking forward to some big things from the Love team, particularly around the app and any big platforms they can get Love on. That would be pretty cool because that would extend PulseChain dramatically if they can do that. We got a Die there is up 20% and benefiting from PDI, I guess. What else have we got going on there? CDI. Oh, we got some of the forks on the move, right? We've got Steak Teeth, then we got where'd it go? Where'd it go? Disappeared. We got CDI. CDI there, compound die up 9.6% as well. I call them exotics. But anyway, they're up. And we've got Reserve Tay up 10% as well. What else is moving there? PTC the Grey. It's got one of its peers up at least at 8%. The dominance there, one of the OG web chefs again up 7.7%. You've got a good bit of a mixture of bag, haven't we? Got a mixed bag of stuff on the move today. And then a Fitzgerald company up 7%. PDC the Greys up 6%. Now, PDC the Greys, as you guys know, is in my Magnificent 7. Obviously, that's the Richard Hart 4 cause. That is up at the moment. And yeah, kind of cool. So that is the play. What else we got going? There we got Lady Gaga is up 5.8%, and Missile OG Web Chef up 5.6% as well. We got Surf Token is up 5.5%. So big shout out to Crypto Paradise team and Nick Hillman crushing it out there, man. Honestly, making partnerships, and this is a big thing that we like to see is partnerships going on. And Crypto Paradise, they're coming on professional team, 130,000 on X, and we, having a team like that come over to PulseChain is so good. Very exciting to see that. So that is on the move at the moment. We got UFO as well, up 5.3%. So matching up with PDC the Greys. They go together like a brother and sister or something like that, or father and daughter. I don't know. You decide. I always make a different one every time. We got PDC on the move there. Remember, OG Web Chef up 3.6%. Missile as well, another OG Web Chef up 3.3%. Phoenix Pump Tires up 3.3%. Investor, the parent of all the OG Web Chefs, is up at $14.50, is up 2.9%. PMX 500 up 2% there as well. And then we've got Top Hat from Crypto Coffee, arguably the biggest influencer, in my opinion, on PulseChain, up 1.24%. And then I'm talking about metrics, overall metrics, and impact on the chain. And then we got Sparta as well, 48 at 1.1% there, looking pretty good. Good old Wendy for tennies, old Hex OG, and then 9mm there as well. Up slightly green, one of the dexes. Now, we saw 9mm the last couple of days trending quite well. 9mm, it's actually 9-inch was actually. Doesn't seem to be doing the same today. And then time dividend. Now KG had a big update around connecting wallets, I think, to Web3. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely check out Internet Money, and KG did a whole video series on the new upgrade, and it's made things a lot easier and faster depending on which platform you are connecting to. So that was really great to see that improvement coming from the Internet Money time dividend team. I'm surprised the price didn't pump more on that, to be honest. That was pretty good news, but maybe it's people consider it kind of technical. That's where we are. Sparta at the moment, pretty much green as well. So that's 53 coins out of the top 100 that are in the green. So not really a big move yet on PulseChain. Obviously, still trying to absorb, still money going over the bridge. And of course, we've got the relativity play. So maybe we're just a day behind as usual. And maybe tomorrow we might see some nice green candles, double digit across the board. That's kind of where we are at the moment. Yeah, 9 inches down there at the moment. Liquid Loans is down there as well. Who else is down there? Solid X, of course, one of the Magnificent 7, down at $8.10. That is cheap as chips right now. Getting a good bargain on Solid X, all I'm going to say there. This is one of the Magnificent 7. And it's going to play out there probably very, very soon. And it's going to take people by surprise. We're expecting something like 4 products to come from Solid X. So that is going to be exciting. Staking, buy and burns, big decentralized casino, and much more coming from that team. Keep a lookout, man. It's going to shock people, I think. And the timing will be important. They'll be watching this market sentiment. This is very important to know. Got to let this negativity in the market ride out and then launch on the positive front foot, and then just roll out all that good news and, of course, all the marketing. This could be the first viral game as X game and Solid X on PulseChain. It's going to be particularly mind-blowing. We're expecting some big things there. All right, Teddy Takeover there from Moon King is also down at the moment, 3.8%. That's been really sold off, right? Ultra sold off there, so that could be a nice little pickup there if you're a backer of that team. They've obviously did a video the other day of 23 different coins, and Teddy was on one of those, right? I think PDC the Greys was the other one. Obviously, Hex there at the moment, nice little pickup. Saw Sun Mini Meal, of course, had a little rally yesterday, was one of the better performers, sitting at 6.4 cents at the moment, down 5%. We're still waiting for the upgrade on the website, as it's not happened yet. But as soon as we find information on Sun Mini Meal, we will let you know about that. One of the Magnificent 7, along with Solid X and PDC the Greys and Richard Hart Cores, from my point of view. There's my Magnificent 7. You can have your own Magnificent Seven. That's my one. So when I say magnificent, these are ones that I think can be valued, maybe not today, but over time, are very, very, very big. So that's the reason, and they have big fundamentals for that. And so saw some mini meal. Probably the biggest thing, along with Banksa and Ramp now, is bringing capital onto PulseChain. That's the big kicker there. So that's what we're looking forward to, is the big capital and potentially institutions as well coming through Sun Mini World. That's why it's in my Magnificent Seven. Not to say that it doesn't ride up and down on price cycles. It's still going to do that like markets. So just take note of that. That's pretty much the play there. We've obviously got a few pump ties at the bottom there, Trump and Most, sitting at the bottom of the 100 at the moment, down 7-8%. Will we get a bit delay or tomorrow be that big green candles for PulseChain? We shall see. We've still got capital leaving the bridge at the moment, as we saw. All right, we've got some comments here from Fat Sammy. So let's read some of these out. We've got, sorry to ask more on this question, Superman, but what is your estimation window for altcoin season? Are you thinking BTC tops October? And then we have 6-month window for alts. That does seem pretty fair, Fat Sammy. Does seem pretty fair. I'm not expecting BTC top necessarily. It's going to, I think, expect it to at least go up again and have a pullback and then go up again. The top there, I mean, I can quite easily see it to just get to 250, 50K. But I'm pretty confident about 150 to 200 this year, 250 probably at the top. And then for next year, 400K. Bitcoin is kind of where I'm feeling. Now, we do have the midterms next year. That will create a bit of chaos, but apart from that, I think we're heading pretty well with Trump's golden age of America. Remember, there's going to be trillions upon trillions, if not tens of trillions of dollars invested in the United States. That is going to create an economic boom that we have not seen. And last time we saw US get the GDP, I think 3 or 4% GDP was back in the 60s, if I remember rightly. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about almost a 1 in 50 year event happening with the economic boom, and probably something that people are going to be talking about for a long time in history books under Trump. So that's going to play there. So we're expecting a rally right into Q1, Q2 and 26. And I think it's actually probably even going to extend it. I mean, those are the bullish upside ones, but I think it's actually probably going to be even longer than that over the whole Trump period. And then after Trump, post-Trump, that's the question, right? That's really the question for me. But once values get up to a certain point, Fat Sammy, as you guys know, then people are going to take profits. So that's just part of the market cycle. So just know that we might peak up at these prices, but it comes down the other side because people take profits. And I think Randy Lasky says it really well. You got to take profits on the way up and buy it on those, because eventually it will sell down the other side. So that's a big thing there. Hey, thanks for the super sticker there. Big shout out there, Fat Sammy. Woohoo! Check out Pulse Bitcoin. That's all we can say, Fat Sammy, right? Pulse Bitcoin there doing on the comeback trail. What else there? So you think a BTC all-time high 26? Interesting. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and 26 there. But like I say, it might surprise to the upside of anything. But once you get to a certain point, there will be profit taking. Now, what's the rationale for that? Is every player is sitting on the bench. We didn't used to have that in 2021. Now we've got basically all institutions on the field, US states on the field, sovereign states led by the US on the field, including all the non-US states sovereign. So we've got everybody. We didn't have it in 2021. We now have that now. And of course, they're all rushing to scale money in to Bitcoin. So that's why we're going to get such a good value. And on the rainbow charts, it looks like about 230,000. I think it's going to be slightly higher than that. To the 250 mark. Now, Richard Hart, of course, had 240, 242, 44, something like that. Definitely think in that park there. No doubt. And then a profit taking, right? Profit taking. So remember, when you make mad gains, people are going to take profits. Rule number one there. Thanks for your insight. I'm moving to that way of thinking as well. So it's Fat Sammy, yeah. And of course, we've had it so brutal up to this point too. So that brutality in the markets also, relatively speaking, also has an impact on the upside too. And it's sort of like elastic band, pulling it back and then let it go, and up and away, right? All right, so we're up to 58 minutes on the hour. I think that's been a pretty good live stream. I hope you guys have enjoyed the alpha drop. That was the latest news around where the thinking is of the news. So coming up to the 4th of July, maybe even this weekend, we could get the big tax bill signed off and then off to the president's office by the 4th of July. That is huge. Obviously, Trump's in NATO at the moment. And then we've also got the trade deals expected in July, potentially after the 4th of July. That's the kind of the mark after the 4th of July. So tax bill, huge news. Then trade deals, boom, 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 boom. Heaps of countries, particularly the top 13 countries outside of China and the UK. We get those deals, and the market's going to love that, and it's just going to feed the positive incitement. And if Trump's managed to able to keep the geopolitical tensions and solve all these wars and conflicts, that just ushers in a world of peace, that we can have this prosperity. Now, as you guys know, bad people will always be plotting, so there's always wild cards out there. Just note that. And so that is that play. And then, of course, game on, we get these trade deals done. And then, of course, we're going to get all that deregulation, those good regulations, and more stuff coming for crypto. By the end of the year, September, October, we've got the big crypto reports coming out. That's going to have an implication for further policy around digital and crypto leading into 2026. So that's all coming. So crypto's going to get a lot. Crypto's going to get a lot of stuff drip to it, right? That's going to be bullish for crypto as we move forward. So very, very, very cool indeed. All right, I think that's it. We're 1 hour on the live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the show and the updated alpha bombs there. That's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited and looking forward to finally getting some capital flow in. Where's the big capital? Let's talk about that. What shall we? But before we go, I'm also going to play out the Raoul Paul video on where we are in the cycle. That probably addresses some of Fat Sammy's questions as well. And that is, where is our money coming from, right? Well, obviously, green candles, money will come over the bridge, right? People know about PulseChain. We'll follow those chase green candles so we can get a capital reversal. And so we got that. Obviously, we got the Magic Up ride, the PulseChain SAC, right? On the ETH Strategic Reserve, we're sitting at number 3 there. And that's holding about, I think, 1% of the ETH supply. There's about 120 million ETH. And so that's pretty bullish. We see a lot of ETH being bought up by corporates now. That's really bullish. And they took our number 2 spot, right, on the ETH Reserve recently. And so we get good things happening in that space. And the Trump Foundation are trying to set stuff up a little bit like strategy. We saw Microsoft Strategy buy more Bitcoin yesterday. So things are all heading in the right direction. We know that there's tons of buyers that are going to be coming onto the market for Bitcoin in particular. We're seeing a lot of ETF green candles. And that's just a beginning, honestly. That is just a beginning. Remember, crypto is a very small market still. We're still at 3.3 trillion. That's small. That's another 10x probably to gold. And man, it's just going to go up and up, guys. And Michael Saylor's got a target of a huge target by 2045 of $13 million of Bitcoin. That's his medium target. So it's a big deal. Now, in terms of PulseChain, of course, Magic Up ride. Obviously, green candles bring over capital as well. But we've got the bridges are ramping up. These bridges are very fundamental. That's why I've been covering them so much. And of course, we've got Ramp now doing a great job. Hex Scout building onto that. Hopefully, we'll have a lot more API access to that, so a lot of people can put it on their websites and stuff like that. That will also amplify, onboarding of capital. The more people's websites, like Randy Alasky and other people like that, set up, and of course, Crypto Coffee and all those people on their sites, they could probably get a decent little amount of PulseChain community going onto those and other crypto people. That all adds into the mix. People can just easily onboard capital. We obviously got banks are going to be coming back online soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We've got 2 more on ramps expected to come this year as well via the Sun Mini-Meal process. And then, of course, we've got Sun Mini-Meal buy and burn happening with corporate profits, 20% of net sales. By my counts, they've probably got $8.5-9 million $9 million euro in there, probably about $10 million US sitting ready to buy and burn. We've seen about $1 million come over so far. That's still early. We're expecting big things. Their customers will get their upgrade, and potentially we have all their customers buying with the Reward 2.0 program. They get 20% discount, and that could be tens of millions of dollars coming over to buy a SOAR token, and that will bring in USDC over the chain. So tons of USDC expected to come through from Ramp now, and of course they're directly buying their corporate buy and burns through Ramp now as well. That is huge, and we're expecting more things from there. Now, obviously, we're waiting for the SOAR bank to launch, so that's all big deal. They're also dealing with institutions, and this could be our easiest way to get institutions on PulseChain is via Sun Mini-Meal. Now, we're going to be having to keep up to date. These are the potentialities. Obviously, we're going to see the actualities, right, of these things, and so this is the play we've got at the moment. So we've got all those on ramps. We've got the Sun Mini-Meal corporate may even give us access to corporates. They've got their Floyn listing coming up soon. That has a link to something. I can't remember that. I think it's 12,000 approximately 12,000 high valued worth investors on there, and that could open up a lot of capital as well. So investment firms, high value investors, all coming on to PulseChain via Sol token, and of course bridging in USDC from Ethereum, right? So that's the big play, and so we're going to keep track on all that. What else we got that happening? We got obviously Firewall about to do Solid X. That's massive potentially. That could bring a lot of stuff from cross chain over to PulseChain. That'll be multi-chain, and then of course if that goes viral, that will be huge. And we're expecting a lot of catalysts to make that happen, like a big marketing budget, big networks, right? Influencer networks and things like that. So that stuff's going to be probably surprise people to the upside. And then, of course, we've got Rack and Michelle out there pouring quite a bit of decent money into promotions, and of course, talking to his high-valued, clients and associates, and potentially bringing in money that way from wealthy individuals. So, and so that's a big area that we're going to keep a lookout for. So all those ways, we've got the whales, we've got the on-ramps, we've got the corporates, all bring potential money, and we've got Richard Hart and the Magic Cup ride. Obviously, people have different views on that, but that is also sitting out there too. Very exciting stuff. Now I'm just trying to think what else is out there that could potentially bring in capital. We've got some big influencers. Some of these guys with over 100,000 followers, they definitely got access to different people that might surprise us as well. So potentially a lot of capital could come in from over there as well. So yeah, those are some of the big capital flows that we could see coming into PulseChain. And of course, then we've got the altcoin effect, right? Where Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that start seeking higher yields and go to other chains as well. So we've got all that playing out. All right, I think that's enough bullishness. We got so much stuff from Trump, so much stuff potentially in the market happening, and this is very early bullish signs of where PulseChain's heading. All right, I think that's it. Are we going to finish now? All right, I think we're going to do that. We're going to finish the show, and I'm going to play out Raoul Paul, and hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's play that. I've been playing it a few days, but it's a really good one. And I think sums things up where the market's kind of heading, where we are at the market, just ahead of that banana run that we're all looking forward to. All right, take care now, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing. Each cycle is not to do with a halving cycle, nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase one of the banana zone, banana number one. The corrective zone, banana number two comes. Another correction, banana number three. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020. 2021, off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats, don't fuck this up, don't lose control of your tokens, don't use leverage, don't get your wallet hacked, just sit with it, be careful, don't get FOMO, do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of correction zone. That's going to be harder, because the next one that happens will have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over, and everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment, because it's easier to get them, because it takes less economic energy, because there's less of it.